One of the insights I have is how we need to separate the patient journey out a little bit. We talked about simplifying pathways. So the patient journey can be very, very complicated. I think there's a lot, people will try and overcomplicate and put lots of just different touch points in it. I think really, if you just break it down into 3 groups, consumers, this will help with your marketing strategy as well, your marketing plan. Break it into 3 groups, consumers, clients, and patients. And each individual group, bear in mind this is the same person, but at each stage, they're looking for something different. They're not looking for the same thing. So where this is evident is in the market growth. If we nailed this, the market growth would be huge because consumers are looking for something different. So let's look at the model. I'll just go through the model top line and then I'll go into it into a bit more detail. So the consumer. Consumer is looking for information. That's what consumers do. They consume information, they consume data. They look at, what's out there. I have a particular want that I have an itch that needs scratching. Where can I get this from? Where can I get that from? That's how they're doing, they're consuming. When, in this context, then they drop into as a client. So let's say, for example, they're out there looking at the website, they're looking at your information. So if you've put information out there that's looking for a patient, you're missing their mind completely. You're on different pages. Once they've come into the clinic and they've made that decision, thinking, okay, I like the look of this website, I'm going to go and sit into that clinic, what they're looking for then is for you to justify the reason why they've done that. So value, why should I be with you? Why should I come and have my treatment here? Sell it to me. Value, give me your value. Tell me what you sell effectively. Once you've satisfied that, then they become a patient, and that's where your medical skills come to the fore, the outcome. They want to look good, and that's where all it comes into. But then the process isn't finished. You don't just chuck them out of your chair and say, off you go. You have to transition them back out. So you need to prepare them. And what happens at this stage generally is they pay. Fair enough? Yeah? You treat them, then they pay. So this, I think, is a really important transition because if you skip that, have you resold your instant value? It's like, right, done, out, go and see the receptionist and pay. Or this is what we've done, this is what you asked for, this is the treatment I've given you, which has had this result, now go and pay. It's a much smoother transition and it makes them happier. And I think it goes back to, I've seen it actually happen where patients rung up a clinic from the car park after their treatment to complain about what happened because they just didn't fully understand it. None of these were gone through. And at this point here, this is where you're consulting and you're explaining the treatment. So you can think of it from a marketing perspective, and also you think of it from a clinical perspective. You have to take these steps. And then once you've done the client phase, then they're back out as a consumer. But the process is actually cyclical rather than linear, because then they're coming back into this point here. So you need to resell information. So for example, rebooking. Why would they come back in again? So the information needs to be aimed at a different group. Does that all make sense? Yeah? You all probably do something similar to this. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. But this is, I think, it's a cleaner model because each point, it tells you what you have to do. So initiate interaction, generate interest, move the focus onto loyalty and generate advocacy.